All right. So Nearpod is a tool that I wanted to discuss. It's an web-based online technological tool that the way it basically is. It's a presentation platform that you can utilize, but also gives you the ability to have breaks in between your slides to help reinforce the information that you are presenting and to help keep students engaged. This is the one that I'm probably most excited about and one that I see myself definitely using in the future. I'd experienced it in the past, but I've never implemented it in my classes. I think Nearpod would do a great job of keeping students engaged and thinking during lectures. It would also highlight areas where they are struggling to comprehend any information that you're presenting to them. Goals with this particular tool would be to make lecturing time more engaging because it can get kind of boring, and make it more impactful, make sure they're getting a lot of good out of the information that we would present. I would use this a lot in my animal science classes where I lecture common, where lecturing is common for me to do in those classes. So we'll go to Nearpod's website here. So when you log in, you're given this area where you can create your own lessons. I think the best way to demonstrate Nearpod is just to do this demo up here. So this is a preview. So left-hand side would be what the teacher's device would look like, and the right-hand side is what the student device would look like. So the students would be given a code, they would join the lesson, and then the teacher would begin the lesson. Let me get back to the beginning. All right, so here's the beginning of the lesson. Again, teacher on the left, student screen on the right. As we go through it, here's your lesson objectives. So you could start with an open-ended question. What is something that students already know about the solar system is the example here, and I know my solar system knowledge is pretty vast. The sun's in the center. So students submit that, they submit the answer, and then live feed over here to the teacher side, it tells me who would be participating and what did they say. And then you can start implementing activities. Helping students stay engaged. This one they have here is a matching activity, a timed matching activity. Again, it gives me live results over here, so I can help make sure I can see what students are, what they're grasping and what they're not. Here's another example of a drawing activity. They can draw and label different things. You have slides where, again, you're highlighting information. And then implement an exit ticket or a quiz. One of the neat things about quiz is they have a game called Time to Climb in Nearpod. It's a competitive-based game that pits students against each other. I think we know that students love to compete against each other, and I get a lot of engagement whenever I have that. Here's a poll. You can implement polls where you ask students how comfortable they are with the information that was presented to them. And then they have, for an example, you can present the homework assignment at the end of your lecture. I think this is a really neat resource that utilizes a lot of things. Here's a simple one that I had created over the parts of the animal cell. They have 3D options, so this was a 3D diagram that I could throw in here, and students can mess with and look at the parts. There's also a quiz that I implemented in there. One of the best things about Nearpod that I have found is they have a very extensive library of lessons, and you can sort that down by your content area and the grades that you teach. So even though I created a very simple animal science diagram for this particular assignment, if I went through, I could find a lesson that was already created by the Nearpod that goes over plant cell structure, cell functions, animal cell structure. I could turn around and easily implement this into my classroom. Of course, this links up with Google Classroom easily. You can share links. You can through all major platforms. It's a very neat resource and one that I definitely see myself using in the future.